Welcome to BFM News at 2. I'm David Kim. President Yoon Suk-yeol committed to addressing North Korea's provocations and other global challenges by enhancing trilateral cooperation with the United States and Japan. In a video message at the opening of the 10th Annual Peace Forum, Yoon emphasized the importance of this alliance. Referring to the ongoing threats from North Korea's nuclear and missile programs, Yoon stated that South Korea will wisely overcome North Korea's provocations and the global poly-crisis, along with geopolitical tensions and increasing energy, resource, and food insecurity. South Korea and the United States semiconductor lobby groups convened in Washington for the U.S.-Korea Supply Chain and Commercial Dialogue Semiconductor Forum to enhance bilateral cooperation in technology research and supply chain stability. Organized after an agreement in April last year, the forum included discussions by Industry Minister An Duk-kun, U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, and representatives from major chip makers. The Korea Semiconductor Industry Association and the U.S. Semiconductor Industry Association signed a memorandum of understanding to hold the forum regularly and explore business partnerships in emerging sectors such as artificial intelligence. In local news, in May, Busan's industrial production saw a 9.9% increase compared to the same month last year. According to the Busan Industrial Activity Trends reported by the Southeast Regional Statistics Office, Busan's industrial production index stood at 114.4 in May, up from 104.1 in May of the previous year. This marks the second consecutive month of year-on-year growth for Busan's industrial production index. While production in sectors like medical precision optics and automobiles decreased, there were significant increases in other transportation equipment and electronic components, computers, video, and audio communications. Construction orders, however, fell by 72.7% compared to May last year, totaling 432 billion won. This decline was especially pronounced in the civil engineering sector, which saw a 97.5% decrease, and the architectural sector, which fell by 26.6%. A new transit center in Sasong-New Town, Yangsan, was completed on the 28th to facilitate public transportation transfers. Built with a 6 billion won investment, the center includes parking for 99 cars, 4 buses, a taxi stand, an electric charging station, a driver's lounge, and spaces for bicycles and PMDs. City buses from Yangsan and Busan will stop here 186 times daily. Yangsan City plans to fully operate the center with the opening of the Yangsan Urban Railway in early 2026, allowing easy transfers between the railway, buses, and taxis. Sasong New Town, developed by LH, spans 2.7 million square meters in Yangsan City near Busan. In international news, U.S. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump squared off in the first presidential debate of the 2024 election, a tense encounter filled with personal attacks. Biden, grappling with a hoarse voice and occasional verbal lapses, delivered a performance that has stirred concern among Democrats. Reports indicate that Biden's early responses caused alarm among some party strategists who were hoping he would effectively counter questions about his age. Throughout the debate, Trump repeatedly criticized Biden's handling of the economy and his foreign policy record. In response, Biden focused on Trump's criminal conviction and his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. And now taking a quick look at the weather here. It's currently 28 degrees Celsius under clear skies. No rain is forecast today. Air quality is in the moderate levels. And that'll have to do it for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
The rainy season just started just last week, but this week we actually had more sunny days than rainy days, right? Most people probably start to miss the sun when the rainy days start. But are there times when you actually miss the rainy days? Can rainy days not have their own unique charm? And we've got probably more than a few coming up. What to do during the monsoon? Well, today we're going to talk about places that are actually really cool to visit even during a monsoon. It's Friday, June 28th. This is the 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever. Let's get the show started. Do you ever feel like breaking? Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever, and you just listened to Welcome to My Life by Simple Plan. Simple Plan is definitely one of those pop punk bands back in the early 2000s. They followed that path along, Blink-182, that kind of trail that they blazed there. And like a lot of groups in that scene in the early 2000s, Simple Plan were making music as teenagers in punk bands, and they came of age watching a lot of underground punk bands perform. Me too. That's how I grew up. I can totally relate. A lot of adults actually kind of looked down on these modern punks, but that fueled their resolve and kind of informed their music at the same time. Welcome to My Life is an example of a Simple Plan song that speaks to those kids they grew up with who were often labeled outcasts and usually felt like outcasts themselves. For these kids, it was really refreshing to hear a voice that understood them and what it was like to be inside their skin. The band Simple Plan is actually from Montreal, Canada, and they've had basically the same 5 members since they formed in 1999. Chuck Como and Pierre Bouvier were in a band called Reset for 7 years before they had a falling out and Como left. And eventually they joined some high school friends in the group, and then that eventually led to becoming Simple Plan. When they needed a singer, Como recruited Bouvier after reconnecting with him at a Sugar Ray concert, of all places. Interesting, where people run into each other at a Sugar Ray concert. This sounds like very 1990s throwback, but of course they blew up in the early 2000s. Well, you're listening to us here right now in the 2024, and we're coming to you from Busan at BEFM 90.5, of course. And if you're in Gijang, Jeongwan, Noksan areas, we're on 103.3 FM. And in Seoul, you're listening to us on TBS EFM 101.3 FM. And in Gwangju, we're, of course, on GFN 98.7 FM. Thank you for joining us wherever you might be today. Hello, Shalala. Hello, that's great. I just wanted to say that name out loud. And of course, if you want to join Shalala, we're on YouTube right now. You can go to YouTube and search BEFM and Busan 영어방송. There is a copyright issue with the music, just to let you know. So when we do switch to playing music, we cannot stream the songs there, so they will be muted. However, of course, we will have the entire show broadcast on FM radio in case you're listening to that right now. Or you can go to your app store on your phone and download our smartphone app. Just search BEFM or 부산영어방송. Download the app, log in, send us some comments, and also you can listen to the show in its entirety on the go. Take it with you. I love that idea. I listen to a lot of podcasts, the radio, actually while I'm out and about and walking, maybe for a nice walk in the park. And the day seems like a good day for it. It still looks nice and sunny outside my window here. And the weather has not been too hot lately. I'm enjoying that before it really turns up the heat soon. I know that's coming. Speaking of coming up, well, we've got a lot for you in the show today. In hour number 1, we're going to have Hot Off the Press. This is where we bring you 2 new tracks that have recently been released and give you some background information about the artists and the songs. And a lot of times we think these songs are going to be played a lot in the near future. And coming up after that, Jeff will be in for Weekend Wanderer. Jeff likes to keep us up to date with all things that are happening in and around Busan and Seoul because it's Friday. The weekend is coming. Don't you need to know what's coming up for this weekend? Things to do. And the weather's going to be questionable this weekend. So it's nice to have a lot of options. In hour number 2, we're going to have our daily list for today. In the intro, I was talking about how rainy days can have their own kind of charm, right? It's possible. There's a garbage song that comes to mind. What is it? I'm only happy when it rains. Sound familiar? Yes. Now PD says yes. Garbage, good. That's a good song. Garbage. They knew what they're talking about. Some days, rainy days are enjoyable on their own. And today's list is top 10 places to visit in the world during monsoons. So in other words, these aren't places where you escape the monsoon. These are places that actually have charm because of the monsoon season. I wonder if Korea's on the list. We'll find out. And then today, I'm always excited for Friday because we have the Friday Spotlight. And this is a new segment we've been doing where I like to introduce some local musicians or performers or artists who live and work here in Busan, or some who are coming from out of town to visit Busan. And today I'm excited to have an interview with the Hong Young-ho Trio. So look forward to that in hour number 2. And then, of course, we'll have our perfect playlist. And our theme has been sunrise for the week. I think we might enjoy one more sunrise. You can see the sun tomorrow morning, I'm guessing. And then the sun might be hiding for quite a bit. So enjoy the sunrise while you can. And of course, I'll be checking your messages throughout the show, so feel free to contact us. And what should you say? You should say hi. You should say how you're feeling today on this Friday. Tell me about your day. Or if you want to play the balance game, you can do that. That's my question for today. Na PD explained to me what the balance game is. And I'm going to call this Between Two Extremes in English, because balance game is actually Korean, correct? That's the name in Korean, balance game. So cool. So basically we have 2 choices for you. And are they the ideal choice? Maybe not, because usually life, we like it kind of in the middle. We like things to kind of change a little bit. However, if you have to choose between one of these 2 extremes, what would you pick? Rainy and humid weather for a year or hot and dry weather for a year? 다음 중에서 하나를 골라야 한다면 어떤 것을 고를 건가요? 하나, 1년 내내 비 오고 습한 날씨. 2번, 1년 내내 뜨겁고 건조한 날씨. Okay, so I'm going to say that again in English. Okay, so number 1, your choice number 1, rainy and humid weather for a year, or choice number 2, hot and dry weather for a year. So which of those two would you pick? I know my answer already. It's going to be hot and dry weather. I get bummed out with too much rain, so I'm kind of like biting my fingernails a little bit. Rain occasionally I can handle. Humidity occasionally I can handle. For an entire year, I don't think I can do it. So I think I would go hot and dry weather for a year. That would put me in a desert somewhere probably, right? I guess I would have to go. There's cool deserts around the world. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe Arizona. I'm sure it's pretty hot and dry there for an entire year. Not sure. I'll have to ask my friend Mike Garrett. He would probably know the answer to that. So send us your answer. What would you pick? Rainy and humid weather for a year, or hot and dry weather for a year? No compromise. There must be one of those two choices. You can reach us here at 샵9050 or pound 9050 for 101, of course. You can also send us a message on Kakao Talk for free if you just search BEFM or 부산영어방송, and then you can message us for free on the app. Or, as I mentioned before, you can download our smartphone app in your app store on your phone, and of course log in, and then you can leave us some comments right there. So think about your answer. I'm curious what it's going to be. Hot and dry for a year, rainy and humid for a year. Why are we thinking about this too? Climate change is coming, right? So it might be a possibility in the near future that you live in one of these places. So let me know what your choice would be. In the meantime, we were talking about Sugar Ray a little bit ago. Let's take a quick song break with Someday by Sugar Ray, and then we'll be back. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and you just heard Someday by Sugar Ray, the band that inspired Simple Plan to get together. So now it is time for Hot Off the Press. This is something we do every Monday through Friday. We bring you two of the newest, hottest songs that have been recently released, and it's hard to keep up, isn't it? There's so many new songs out there, so we try to pick some that we think you're going to enjoy, of course, and that you might hear a lot in the near future. And the first song for today is The Boy Is Mine remix by Ariana Grande, Brandy, and Monica. That sounds like a big team up to me. This is a very exciting and unexpected collaboration featuring musical superstar Ariana Grande. And she's created a remix to The Boy Is Mine featuring the song's original singers, Brandy and Monica. So kind of a throwback, yeah? The original version of the song came out in 1998. Really? Way back then? Okay. And it won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals and topped the Billboard Hot 100 at number 1 for 13 weeks. That's pretty good. It became the best-selling song of the year and the best-selling female duet of all time. And this actual remix of The Boy Is Mine is featured on Ariana Grande's latest album, Eternal Sunshine. So will this one stay number 1 for 13 weeks? You be the judge. Let's see. Our second song for today is Chanel No. 5 by Camila Cabello. Camila Cabello has released this new single from her upcoming album, CXOXO. Oh, like a signature. She signed her name for you. And this album's scheduled to come out on June 28th. Wow, is that today? Indeed. Okay, I just had to check my watch. Wait a minute. So it's the album's coming out today. Chanel No. 5 showcases a more mature aspect of Cabello's songwriting. It touches on themes of confidence, assertiveness, and the single follows early releases like I Love It, which featured Playboy Cardi, and He Knows, featuring Lil Nas X. Chanel No. 5 is described as a hyper-pop ballad and a gift to you, her fans. Thus, that's probably why she signed her name, right? CXOXO. So these are our two songs for Hot Off the Press for today. The Boy Is Mine remix by Ariana Grande, Brandy, and Monica. And our second song is Chanel No. 5 by Camila Cabello. All right, welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. That was an interesting way to end the song there. I like that. That was cool. That was Chanel No. 5 by Camila Cabello. And before that, you heard the Boy Is Mine remix by Ariana Grande, Brandy, and Monica. And those were our two songs for today's Hot Off the Press. And thank you for weighing in on the question of the day, 1191 NIM. The question today was, you have to choose one. This is balance game, right? So you have to pick one. These are the extremes. You get rainy and humid weather for 1 year, or you get hot and dry weather for 1 year. And 1191 NIM says, both of them are my least favorite weather. I think me too. Yeah, I mean, probably for a lot of people, rainy and humid weather all the time is probably not how you want to live. However, I was actually born near Seattle, Washington State. And I think for the first 2 years of my life, it was probably rainy and humid weather for an entire 2 years. So maybe that's why I wouldn't pick that one. So 1191 NIM says, sunny days are better than rainy days. I just want to run around and play on sunny days. But I'm not crazy. Haha. Okay, so we know it's not crazy to want to run around on sunny days, especially after you've got a bunch of rainy days in a row and you're just like, I got to get out of the house, and literally perhaps run out of the house. So yeah, what's your opinion? You have to choose one. Number one, rainy and humid weather for a year, or number two, rainy or hot and dry weather for a year. 다음 중에서 하나를 골라야 한다면 어떤 것을 고를 건가요? 1번, 1년 내내 비 오고 습한 날씨, 아니면 2번, 1년 내내 뜨겁고 건조한 날씨. It's a tough choice, I'm sure. But of course, I'm curious. I want to know which one would be the more popular choice. I have my guess. I'm pretty sure I have a guess. And actually, Jeff indicated that he's got an easy answer that he picked. And I'm curious what that is. So we'll get to Jeff in a second. Of course, in the meantime, while you're thinking about your answers, you can reach us at 샵9050 or pound 9050 for 101. Or you can message us for free on Kakao Talk. Just search BEFM or Busan영어방송 there. Add us, and then you can send us messages for free. Or, of course, you can go to the App Store on your smartphone, and we have an app in there. You just search BEFM or Busan영어방송 there. Download the app. Then you can log in, send us comments, and, of course, listen to the show wherever you go. And that being said, we're going to be right back with Jeff and Weekend Wanderer. All right, welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. It is now time for Weekend Wanderer with Jeff, and Jeff is in the studio here on this fine, I'm going to say fine-ish Friday afternoon. Welcome, Jeff.
Good to be here. It's quite warm outside, actually.
Did it get a lot warmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I came to the studio right around maybe like noon, and the temperature was kind of going up, and I've been in this chilly studio since then. Yeah. It's a little chilly in here, right?
Yeah, actually, it's nice.
Yeah, okay, so it is getting a little hot, humid out there?
It is. I think it's around 28 out right now, so yeah, I mean, when I drove here, it was quite warm.
Okay.
I had the air conditioner cranked in the car, so...
Okay, all the way up, full
Pretty
blast?
much.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
So I think I know what your answer is. We were talking off the air a little bit. So between the two choices, Jeff, you can only pick one of these two extremes. Is it going to be rainy and humid weather for a year or hot and dry weather for a year for you?
Well, I think anybody who has listened to my segment over the last, I guess, year and a half should know the answer to what I would say, which is definitely hot and dry.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to go through a year-long thing of jangma, which is basically what rainy and humid is.
Right.
So
yeah, it would be like a years-long monsoon, exactly. And I think that's one thing. I don't remember living in Seattle, but I was born near there, and my parents, anytime it came up, like, oh, why did we move from there? Trust me, too much rain. It was like rain for a year, nearly every day.
Yeah,
and they were like, yeah, exactly. So we moved as far away in the United States as you could possibly get from Seattle. So yeah, I think for me too, hot and dry weather just seems like the obvious choice, but I also I don't do well in hot, like dry weather.
I'm going to experience that quite soon. I'm actually I'll be going to Phoenix, actually.
Oh, Phoenix, Arizona, right.
Yeah, I'll be there in 2 weeks, I guess.
So are you ready for that? Because it is a weird change, right? When you go from hot and humid to hot and dry, right?
Very. I've never experienced it before. My brother lives there.
Okay.
So I'm going for the first time, and I'm also going to Dallas on this trip.
Oh,
so
wow. You're going to experience...
I'm going for the extremes.
For sure. That's going to be both hot and dry in both places. I've only been to the Dallas airport, but I have a friend who lives there, and he's always posting on social media about how extreme the heat is there. So my advice, have a bottle of water on you at all times. Like, just strap it to your leg or strap it to your waist, or just have an IV on you. Yeah, it's going to be...
I saw like a video on social media yesterday where this guy brought an air conditioner to the beach.
Right.
And everybody's just looking at it as he's plugging in this air conditioner.
Right. Yeah,
nice.
you might want to consider that as well.
Get a portable air conditioner to just hover around.
Yeah. I could imagine, like, just get like a slight containment unit where you kind of keep the air in a little bit. Yeah. I might do that today because I'm meeting my friends at the beach perhaps later. So if it's going to be that hot. But okay, but actually speaking of the beach and things to do this weekend, that's what Jeff is here for. He does this every Friday. You like to tell us what's going on, not just in Busan, but in Korea in general, Busan, Seoul. So what are we going to talk about today?
The beach first.
Nice.
So if you're curious about whether the quality of the water or sand is good or not,
Yeah.
good news, it is.
Oh,
so
good.
they've done some results that confirm all the inspected beaches meet the environmental standards set for safe public use and management.
Great.
So, so they did tests on all the beaches. So it's safe to go swimming. It's safe to be on the sand. One advisement is to be careful and avoid swimming immediately after heavy rainfall.
Oh, so like basically the upcoming week, right? So if they're at the end of this week, in other words, maybe wait a couple of days, perhaps.
Yeah, because they said like the water gets. Well, I think it's pretty common. Like the water gets more dirty after a heavy rainfall. So they said try to avoid swimming after that.
I actually never thought about that, and I've lived near a beach most of my life. So yeah, that's kind of common sense. If you go through a period of heavy rain, it's probably all these kinds of things that are churned up and varieties of bacteria, I'm assuming, that are introduced into the water.
Yeah.
So maybe wait.
Yeah, just maybe wait for a little bit and then jump in later.
Good to know. Okay, good. So how did they do this? They just tested the various beaches around here, and
what
were they looking
basically
for?
So all of so they're looking for levels of mercury, chromium, and they basically testing like heavy metals.
So not
stuff
just
like that.
Not just bacteria.
Right.
Okay, so a variety of things that you don't want to.
Yeah, stuff like E. coli and things like that.
So bacteria as well.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, and we got a good result for all of the beaches here?
Yeah, so everything ranged from 0 to 73, and as long as it's under, I believe it's 109, then you're okay.
Okay, great. So that's great news. So that includes all 7 beaches here. That would be Haeundae, Songjeong, Daepo, Songdo, Gwangali, Ilgwang, and Imnang Beach.
Yep.
Right, awesome. That's good news. So if you're out at the beach today with my friends, say Norok to them, they're from Moldova, and enjoy the beach together with them. Great. That's great news. What about the sand? Do they inspect
Sand
that?
as well, yeah.
Okay, so all the results are good for that.
Yeah, so that's the one that they look for, the harmful heavy materials.
In the
It's
sand
like
itself?
arsenic, lead, mercury, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay, that sounds like a huge effort to actually make that happen. So thank you for...
Every beach does this, though.
And
around
it should
the country,
be.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great news. Cool. What else we got?
Speaking of beaches, Gyeongnam beaches. So 26 beaches across 5 cities are going to be opening from today.
Oh, yeah, today's the day. Cool.
Yeah. So actually, sorry, it's tomorrow, I believe. Tomorrow's the 29th.
29th
is tomorrow.
Okay, so that'll be tomorrow.
So Busan's are opening on Monday, and Gyeongnam is having a bunch of them open from Saturday, and they're operating until August 25th. So 17 beaches, including Changwon's Gwanghwam Beach, Hakdong Mongdo Beach in Goje, and 3 beaches in Tongyeong and Sachan Namdae, Namhae Sangju Unsan Beach are opening on July 5th.
Okay.
Suryok Beach, July 6th, and Namhae Songjong Solbaram Beach on July 12th.
Okay, so they kind of stagger them, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Maybe that's to kind of avoid crowding all at one time, or maybe to direct people in one location. I wonder why they do that. Interesting. Cool.
I don't know. Depends. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Maybe it takes all the preparation work then before they open the beaches.
Yeah, so they do actually have some themed beaches. So Gyeoje's Myeongsa Beach is hosting what they call a Dangsu Beach, which is a pet-friendly beach. Has pet-specific shower rooms, snack exchanges, and a pet playground.
No kidding.
Yep. So you can bring your dogs.
Cool.
Paddle boat experiences with your pets. Goje's Wahyeon Beach kind of caters to more disabled visitors, and Namhae's Songju and Songjung are going to offer leisure and healing theme complexes.
Right. Okay. So if you're looking for some kind of particular, like if you're looking for something that you might need specific options or facilities, perhaps,
Yeah.
right? That's great to know.
Yeah. So there is going to be a lot of safety personnel there, so you can feel safer.
Right.
Some places will have jet skis, lifeboats, life jackets, watchtowers. So they're going to be checking it out, make sure everyone's safe.
Right. And thank you for doing that hard work, because I can't imagine doing that all day long, on a hot beach, right? So, yeah, thank you for all the workers who do that. We need that. Appreciate it.
So this is kind of interesting. So do you remember Milak Waterside Park?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how they used to be one of the most popular places for people to go at night. So that got shut down about 2 years ago. And it's kind of really had a bad effect around that area.
Right.
A lot of businesses have been complaining because nobody goes there anymore. However, Milak the Market is actually going to be opening a Milak the Waterside, which is a night market starting from starting on Monday.
Okay, great.
So it kind of aims to recreate the ambience of the park the way they used to have it. So here you can enjoy foods. They have papingsu, fried chicken, barbecue, fried chicken, tteokbokki, sundae, odeng, stuff like that.
Okay.
And there's going to be a store that's selling alcohol with mats, so you can buy a mat and go drink alongside there.
Like a combo. That's a great idea.
Yeah, so it's kind of like on the staircase area.
Right, okay.
And so this is going to be open from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m., and the markets will be open during the day during the peak season from July to August, and will operate from Thursday to Sunday starting in September.
Great, okay.
They'll have a DJ booth, and again, there'll be people there, security, I guess, to kind of watch and make sure nobody gets out of hand.
Right, so that's good to know, because, and when you get a big crowd, safety does become an issue,
Yeah,
and especially at night.
Yeah, but this was, like I said, it was one of the most popular areas for people to go, and people were actually a little bit upset that they stopped it, because it was like, it's a great place where you can just kind of go and relax at
Right.
night, and when it's hot out, especially like, again, when it's really hot out, it's cool because you're by the water. But they had the problems with noise. They had a big problem with garbage.
Yeah, that I recall.
Yeah, there was
Just
that
people
viral
leaving-
photo that the police
Yep.
had put out a few years ago. But they're gonna re-enhance this, which is good. They'll have a DJ booth, so
Cool.
should be fun.
And as long as people probably clean up after themselves, we can continue probably
Yeah.
using it like that, right? So that's a good thing to know, right?
Yeah,
Don't
so-
ruin it.
Don't ruin it. Throw away your garbage if you can find one. If you can find a garbage can.
And if not, maybe just take it with you. There's always plastic bags that you get with like everything you buy. Just take it with you.
Yeah, think of it like a lotte game.
There you go.
That's what they do. When they used to
Exactly.
hang out the garbage bags.
There you go. Cool. What else we got?
Drone show. So this weekend's drone show is the Kwangali Sea Exploration, but if you're looking to check out any of the July performances, so July 6th is the Welcome Bow family. We talked about that last
yeah.
week with the pandas.
Right.
On the 13th is called Magic City Kwangali. July 20th is Kwangali Summer Vacation. And then on the 27th, they'll be doing a drone show that's giving a kind of a cheer to the Korean team taking part at the Olympics in Paris.
Yeah, and that's coming up soon as well, right?
Yeah.
Great. That's great timing for that. And I tell you what, let's take a quick song break, and then we'll be back with more with Jeff and Weekend Wanderer. Let's take a listen to Holiday by Green Day. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and you're listening to, of course, Weekend Wanderer with Jeff. He's in the studio here, and just before, you just heard Holiday by Green Day. And hello, quickly, I just wanted to mention to Jaebong Lee Nim, who's asking a question in the chat there. Just the reason there are no subtitles when we're streaming is because this is live. I think they would be hard to do on the fly. Now, PD, I couldn't imagine being able to do that.
Doesn't YouTube have an automatic? Oh, maybe not live, though.
Yeah, probably not live, I'm guessing. But you know what? Probably the near future.
Probably.
AI is getting scary like that. It might have the subtitles before I even say what I say.
No, that would be special.
Right. But okay, so Jeff's here for Weekend Wanderer. We're talking about events that are going on. We were just talking about some cool things you can do. And is there a lot going on this weekend?
July is actually usually a bit quiet just because of the heat. So even a lot of the events that go on, especially outdoor ones during the summer, kind of tend to take the month off.
Oh, okay.
So there are events, but there's less than usual.
Okay. That's good to know.
But let's see what we got going on this weekend.
Okay.
So the first thing going on at the Busan Cultural Center tomorrow night at 5 is pianist Rudolf Buchbinder, along with the Orchestra Festival Strings Lucerne, doing a night of Beethoven music.
Ooh.
Saturday and Sunday, the Awesome Stage going on at Bexco Auditorium. So there's a bunch of different K-pop concerts going on.
Cool.
The Busan International Mobility Show, which is the formerly named Busan International Motor Show, is taking place beginning today, which start open to the public and going on until July 7th. Now, I went here yesterday, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so yesterday they had a press day. And it's quite smaller than the old motor show used to be. It's actually only being held in Exhibition Hall 1, where it used to be both of them.
Okay.
So there was maybe only 5 or 6 major auto dealers there. So there was BMW, Mini, Genesis, Kia, Hyundai. Mm-hmm. And then they had a bunch of older cars in there as well.
Just for show.
Yeah, so 50s and 60s Cadillacs and stuff
I would
like
like
that.
to see that.
A couple of supercars.
Cool.
But, yeah, I mean, it's something to do if it's raining and you want to go check out some cars.
Yeah, until July 7th, I think we're probably going to have some rain between now and then.
Yeah.
So good to know.
Yeah, also going on at Bexco, which is part of the mobility show, is the Korea Car Camping Show. Going on at the Cinema Center this weekend. This will be a good one. The Busan Food and Film Festa, which is a festival which combines food and film, so a lot of different events with that. The International Magic Festival Convention is going on at the Cinema Center as well, which is 3 days of shows, competitions, and all things magic.
Cool.
Friday through Sunday. Also at the Cinema Center, there's still the Golden Age of Chinese Theater retrospective going on. The Random Play Dance going on at KT&G Sang Madang Dance Studio. Sports-wise, we have Lotte versus Hanwha. The iPark are playing Sungnam. Just remember that all the games have moved to Gadak. And also going on this weekend in Songjeong is the international surfing competition.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's going on Saturday and Sunday out in Songjeong.
And I guess rain or shine, I guess it's going to continue, right?
Yeah, I mean...
They're used to getting wet.
But you know, I don't know if you ever heard of this story when they first started the surfing competition and they canceled it.
Oh, the first time?
Yeah, because the waves were too high. I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
The waves were about a meter. And now remember, these are professional surfers who are coming from all over the world.
Oh, bummer.
And so they tried to go up the coast, and people kept calling the police.
Oh,
so they kept trying to go up and up and up just to surf, and they wouldn't allow them. I mean, professional surfers not being allowed to surf on a 1 meter wave.
Yeah. I understand to a degree safety is important, but if that is what they're trained to do well, and they've spent a lot of time and experience getting good at that.
It was something.
Yeah.
When that came out, we were just like, oh, wow, okay.
Hopefully that hasn't happened since then.
Not that I know of,
okay.
but...
Perhaps it was a first-time mistake.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you try something for the first time, it doesn't work quite how you plan it, right?
Yeah, I guess. All right, going on in Seoul this weekend, lots of different concerts. So there's the Something About Us concert tonight at the KT&G Sangsang Madang in Hongdae. Music and Life premiere concert at the Gwanglim Arts Center. Thornapple, LG Arts Center U+ stage. Saturday, U-Kiss has a fan concert going on at Yes 24 Wonder Rock Hall. Dragon Pony at Musinsa Garage. There's a YouTube Fan Fest going on at Paradise City. Kim Gi-tae fan meeting at Sungsu Art Hall. And then on Saturday and Sunday, there's the Seoul Park Music Festival at Olympic Park, Jungsaewon at Myeonghwa Live Hall, FTIS Land, I don't know how to say that.
Oh, FT Island.
FT Island?
FT Island, yeah.
Okay. Blue Square MasterCard Hall and Ohashi Ayaka on Sunday at the Maple Art Center.
So a lot going on in Seoul there, it sounds like.
A lot going on in Seoul.
Cool. Is there anything else you would recommend, locally that we could possibly do? I know like the weather's going to be a little wacky for a bit, but perhaps something we can do at night?
Yeah. So I've got a list here of things that you can actually do on a budget, which is free.
I need that. Okay, my
Free
friends
things
are out
to
of
do.
town. Thank you.
Okay, so again, things to do for free around Busan if you have no money and you want to do something.
Right
get
here.
outside.
Right, this is
All
what
right,
no money looks like.
So 8 things to do. 1, go check out the night views. Again, the Diamond Bridge is always great. But there's a lot of other great options. You can go to Hangyeongsan Mountain, go to the top. The top of the department store, Lotte's department store in Gwangbokdong. Go to Busan Tower. So lots of different places you can check out night views here.
Cool.
Free movies. Every Tuesday night that the Cinema Center is hosting movies through August. A lot of different museums that you could go to. There's always something going on with different exhibitions. Visit the APEC House. So go to the Nurimaru, which is in Dongbek Island.
Right.
And go check out that. It's a nice walk around the park as well there.
Yeah, for sure.
Another one, again, take a nice walkabout. There's lots of different places to go. So you can head out to Gamcheon Village, go to walk along Suyong Riverside Park, Oncheonjang. Lots of different places to go for a walk here. Check out the Suicide Cliffs.
Say what?
Taejongdae Park on
Okay,
Yeongdo.
that's a nickname for it?
Yeah, because it's the big rocks and people used to jump off them. So
Oh,
it's
no.
called the Suicide Cliff.
Oh, goodness.
But it's a really good place to go. It's really beautiful out in Yeongdo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a beautiful island.
Check out any one of the different parks. Just go take a walk through the park. Citizens Park is also always a great place. Songsanhyun Square, take a walk through the middle of the city. Lots of different places to go walking. Or go check out the fountain show out in Darepo. 60-meter diameter, 55-meter high fountain. Plays a little soundtrack music.
Right.
So,
And it's just a beautiful beach to watch the sunset as well.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of my favorite places to watch the sunset in Busan for sure.
yeah. So those are 8 free things to do if you're on a budget or you just want to get out and not spend any money.
Yeah.
There's lots of different things to do that you don't always have to pay.
Awesome. And I'm going to throw a plug into my neighborhood. The UN Park also is a great park to walk
Right.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like the memorial area, which closes earlier, but there's also just like a really nice park right outside it that's always open, always free, a lot of art and sculptures outside.
Yeah. Iggy Day is also another great place to take a walk.
I should have mentioned that too. You're right.
Yeah, Iggy Day or down near the Sky Bridge, down near Oryokdo.
Yep.
So lots of different places to go just to go out and walk.
Cool. That's great advice. And I think I'm going to take your advice this weekend and get walking.
And if it rains, just head into the subway system
Exactly. Right.
and take a walk there.
Take a little shelter. There's a lot of shopping you could still do in the subways, even in some places,
Yeah.
right? For sure. All right. Thank you so much, Jeff, for all the great ideas, all these things we can do this weekend. And of course, Jeff is here for Weekend Wander every Friday. And we're going to take a quick song break. This is going to be Green Eyes by Coldplay, and we'll be back at 3 p.m.
Honey, 부산영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Electric kickboards and electric bicycles are common on the streets these days. With the increased use of personal mobility devices, the number of accidents and deaths have reportedly increased significantly.
Personal Mobility Patrol Mode.
I don't need to wear a safety helmet because I'm only riding a short distance.
Wear a safety helmet. When you drive your personal mobility devices, you have to wear a safety helmet.
Hey, I rented an electric kickboard. Let's ride it together.
Okay, you drive in the front, I'll get in the back.
Follow the number of passengers. Only one person can ride an electric kickboard and electric wheel parallel car.
Follow the rules of personal mobility devices and drive safely. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
The time is now 3 o'clock.
I know you moved on to someone new.
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever, and we are now in our second hour of the show. We just kicked off the show with These Days, or the second hour of the show, that is, with These Days by Rudimental. And for that song, Rudimental actually enlisted the British songstress Jess Glynne and U.S. rapper Macklemore for the definitely gospel-influenced track. If you didn't feel that, there was a little gospel influence in there. There's a lot of hand clapping. There's obviously a church choir sound to it. And the song is not about anything religious. It's actually about a breakup, a post-breakup song. And it follows the end of a romance as the pair look back at their relationship with fondness. That's hard to do sometimes. And the music video for the song was actually directed by Johnny Valencia. And in the video, you can see Macklemore and Glynne playing a young couple that falls in and out of love. Kind of reminds me of, what is that, Blue Valentine, I want to say? That movie with, the big Canadian actor. You know his name. Gosling. That guy. So handsome. Kind of reminds me of that kind of feeling. And that clip was actually shot for this music video in London and Seattle, two different places, both fairly rainy. And it finds the performers portraying all of the phases of a romance. So yeah, really reminds me of Blue Valentine. I think this is the name of the film. So this song was actually Jess Glynne's sixth, that's hard to say, sixth UK chart topper. That's the most for a British female solo artist. The record was previously held by Cheryl Cole, who had 5 UK number ones. So there you go. Little background information on that song there. And we are coming to you live from Busan on this Friday afternoon. We're on BEFM 90.5 here in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jeongwan, and Noksan areas. And we're in Seoul on TBS EFM 101.3 FM and in Gwangju at GFN 98.7 FM. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us wherever you might be. And, of course, today we've got a lot left in hour number 2 for you. Our daily list for today, this monsoon's coming up, right? I mean, it's technically already started. We've largely been spared most of the rain so far here in Busan, but it's coming. So today's topic is actually top 10 places to visit in the world during monsoons. And I'm curious what countries will be included there. So the recommendation is actually during the monsoon, go there. Really? But yeah, I mean, there is some kind of charm to rainy days, I suppose, right? Some days I actually do enjoy just walking out in the rain. Of course, with perhaps an umbrella or at least some kind of rain jacket is a good idea. But yeah, we'll check out some places where they actually recommend that you go check out during a monsoon. And then we've got coming up for today our Friday Spotlight. We do this every Friday now. This is my favorite little segment that we've started doing recently. The idea was we're introducing some local musicians and performers or artists here in Busan that live and work here, or some that are coming from out of town to perform here as well. And today we're featuring the Hong Young-ho Trio, so a local group here, and they've actually got a gig coming up this weekend that you can go check out, one that Jeff actually recommended before in the first hour. So we'll talk about that, and of course, we're going to have our perfect playlist for today. Our theme for the week has been sunrise. And I hope you enjoy the sunrise tomorrow morning because it might be the last sunshine you see in the morning for a few days. We'll see. The weather's definitely been kind of iffy and the forecasts seem to change quite often. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll have 2 more songs related to sunrise for you today on the perfect playlist. And of course, I will be checking your messages throughout the show. Jack Kim working hard there in the chat. I see that. I appreciate your hard work over there. And a couple messages I wanted to share. Happy Friday to you, Lee Kelly Nim. And I appreciate you tuning in as always. Oh, there's my window. There we go. You know what? Sometimes I click on one window and something else comes up. We got a song request from Lee Kelly Nim. We'll see if we can squeeze that in. We've got an action-packed second hour, so I'll see if we can get that for you. And thank you. Happy Friday to you as well. And we've got a message from Choi Hisuk Nim who says, good afternoon to you. And I'm not a big fan of the rain. I would choose dry weather. So even though it's going to be hot, dry weather, so far the choice seems to be predominantly hot or dry weather. That is my question for today. It's one of these things like a balance game. You've got 2 extremes. You must pick one. Which one would you choose if you have to? You can only choose one. Choice number 1, rainy and humid weather for a year. Or choice number 2, hot and dry weather for a year. And Choi Hee-suk Nim says, of course, she's not a big fan of the rain. Me neither. I can deal with it sometimes, but I would totally choose, no rain. Me too. So in Korean, 다음 중에서 하나를 골라야 한다면 어떤 것을 고를 건가요? 1번, 1년 내내 비 오고 습한 날씨. 아니면 2번, 1년 내내 뜨겁고 건조한 날씨. So is it a tough choice? I don't think so. I kind of expect, I don't know. So you know what? I take that back. I do have some friends who do enjoy rain. They told me so. So is anybody out there into the rain and humidity? Let me know. You can send us your messages at 샵9050 or pound 9050 for 101. You can also message us for free on Kakao Talk if you just search BEFM or 부산영어방송. And of course, you can go download our smartphone app. If you go to the App Store on your phone, whatever App Store you have, search BEFM or 부산영어방송 there. Download the app, log in, you can leave us some comments, and enjoy us on the go. Take us with you wherever you're going today. All right, so think about your answer. Let me know. Is it the hot and the dry, or is it the rainy and the humid? Which is your choice? We're going to take a quick song break with Matchbox 20 and How Far We've Come, and then we'll be right back with our daily list.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard How Far We've Come by Matchbox 20, and that drummer was certainly working overtime. I hope they paid him extra for that song. He was working hard. Can you drum like that in one take? I wonder. It was working hard there. But it is now not time for Matchbox 20. It is now time for the daily list. And there's a list for everything out there. You can find lists for everything. And what did we find for you this week? Well, we've got a monsoon coming up, right? So don't be sad. Don't be pessimistic about it. It turns out there are places in the world where monsoons are enjoyable, they say. So it can actually be a unique experience. It's a very unique time of year in a lot of places around the world. And it does kind of give you a break from scorching summer heat, right? For us, it usually marks the beginning of the scorching summer heat. But in other places, it might actually give you some reprieve and brings out the green, right? So a lot of people do like to kind of stay indoors during that time. But there are other things you can experience as well by going outside. Perhaps get some rain gear or just maybe a trusty umbrella. Oh, which I probably need to get some more of those coming up. We've got some visitors. I don't know if we have enough umbrellas. So it's something to consider. How will you keep yourself dry-ish during a monsoon? So we're looking at 10 places around the world that are actually beautiful and enjoyable during the monsoon. There's a lot for nature lovers, adventure seekers, or just if you want to get away from the daily grind. So here we go. We're going to count up today. We're counting up. This is Casey McKeever counting up with you. 10 most beautiful places to consider visiting during the monsoon. Coming in at number 1, Bali, Indonesia. And Bali right now, this time of year, I'm assuming is hot. It is a tropical paradise right in Indonesia. It's known for stunning beaches, green forests, and rice paddies, those iconic rice paddies as well. And during the monsoons, the island actually comes alive with waterfalls, right? Those are probably fueled by the monsoon, and lush vegetation. So it's actually an ideal destination if you're a nature lover. So if it's the monsoon season, you might be like, oh, Bali's somewhere I could go check out. Number 2 on the list is actually kind of surprising to me. Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo, if you don't know, is the capital city of Japan. It's a very big, busy city. It's definitely known for a vibrant culture as well as cutting-edge technology. However, during the monsoon season, you can see the city in a very different light as it becomes a dreamy, misty wonderland. Because if you think about it, I've only been to Tokyo twice that I recall. One time in the winter, and there was way more snow than I expected. And one time in the summer, maybe the summertime, and it was hotter than I expected. So Tokyo might be one of those places where the monsoon just kind of gives you like a nice, different feel in the city. So definitely worth checking out. Number 3 on the list is Hanoi, Vietnam. This is one of my favorite cities in Vietnam. I spent a magical month there. It's a beautiful city. I got to meet all kinds of wonderful people. There's a lot of history, a lot of culture in the city. During the monsoon season, as they say, the city is washed clean and comes alive with lush greenery. It was pretty green when I was there. It wasn't the monsoon season. It was already pretty green. So I guess it becomes even more green. So if you're looking for a different side of Vietnam, they recommend Hanoi. I totally agree. Hanoi is a very cool city to just hang out and chill. Number 4 on the list is Patagonia, Argentina. And Patagonia is actually a very sparsely populated region in South America, known for rugged beauty, pristine wilderness. During the monsoon seasons, it becomes alive as well because the waterfalls could become alive, right? And also the greenery. Otherwise, yeah, Patagonia, I think, is fairly dry for the rest of the year. I'm not sure. I'd have to check on that. I've never been to Argentina. Have had plenty of Argentinian wine, so I would love to go check that out too. But they say Argentina, especially Patagonia in Argentina, is an ideal destination if you're seeking adventure. So for those adventure seekers out there, go check it out for sure. Number 5 on the list, Huangshan, China. It's also known as the Yellow Mountains. Huangshan. That's almost close to Korean there. Hwangsan, I guess. And so I guess it's the Yellow Mountains area of China. It's in the eastern region of the country, famous for otherworldly landscapes of jagged peaks, misty valleys, and it's an ideal destination if you're looking to experience some kind of unique and breathtaking natural wonders you've never seen before. Huangshan, China. Cool. Number 6, the Amazon rainforest in Brazil. Wow. I would not expect to want to go to during a monsoon, but they say it is a very biodiverse region. That's definitely true. During the monsoon season, you can see the forest come alive with all kinds of colors and sounds. The region of the Amazon rainforest is a home to an incredible number of flora and fauna, If you're a nature lover, definitely check it out. Number 7, another surprise for me, London in the UK, London, England. Okay, I think London is fairly well known for rainy weather, but during the monsoon, which runs from October to December, there's a unique charm to London. You can visit iconic landmarks, explore many of the museums. I've been to a couple, they're amazing. Galleries, enjoy its famous theater. So a lot of indoor activities you could check out while it's raining outside, because it rains a lot in London already, right? Number 8 on the list, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia is a big mix of modern and tradition. During the monsoon season, the city of Kuala Lumpur experiences regular showers, but that does nothing to affect its charm. You can explore shopping malls, you can explore the Petronas Twin Towers and Batu Caves, and of course, street food. What's up? Street food everywhere. And I assume it's covered. I assume there's slightly covered in some way, so the street food won't get monsoon all over it. Number 9, Sydney, Australia. Also during the monsoon season, Sydney experiences mild showers that do nothing to hamper your experience there. You can see all of the iconic landmarks like the Opera House, for example, and that bridge, the name escapes me. But you can explore as well. There's a ton of museums and galleries and the beautiful beaches. Why not check them out when it's rainy outside too? I do that here. Last on our list is Singapore. And Singapore is a city-state known for being modern, known for being clean, and diverse. The monsoon season in Singapore runs from June to September and December to March. There's 2? Wow. So they do say, however, the showers there are usually short-lived. So there's a lot of shopping you can do, a lot of landmarks to see, and of course, the cuisine. I would be there for that. Singapore is a big mix of cultures. To me, that means a lot of food opportunity to see different tastes or taste different tastes, different flavors. So I think that's a great recommendation too. All right, so that's going to do it for today's daily list. 10 places where it's actually cool to visit during the monsoon. Do you think Korea should be on the list? Do you think Busan should be on the list as well? Let me know what you think. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison, and we'll be back with our Friday Spotlight. All right, welcome back to the Friday Spotlight, everybody. Today we've got our special guest, Hong Young-ho from the Hong Young-ho Trio. Can you introduce Hong Young-ho Trio?
안녕하세요. 홍영호 트리오는 사랑과 일상 자연을 음악으로 담아내는 팀입니다. 드러머 홍영호를 중심으로 피아니스트 강예인, 베이시스트 신세영으로 이루어진 홍영호 트리오는 2018년 정규 1집 터칭을 시작으로 싱글 앨범 낡은 구두, I Need Caffeine과 두 장의 EP 앨범 Dear Nature, 카페인 프로젝트를 발매하며 재즈와 팝 장르를 기반으로 꾸준히 활동하고 있습니다.
Okay. So the Hong Young-ho Trio is a team that tries to capture love and everyday life and nature all in their music. The trio consists of pianist Kang Hae-in, bassist Shin Se-young, and drummer, of course, with us today, Hong Young-ho at the center. And it's a really big pleasure to have you here with us today. Starting with the first full-length album, which was called Touching in 2018, the trio has been steadily working. They work on jazz, they work on pop genres, and they've been also releasing singles like Old Shoe, I Need Caffeine, which a lot of people can relate to, and 2 EPs, one titled Dear Nature and The Caffeine Project. Can you introduce your third album, From Nature? 이번에 발표한 3집 From Nature 소개 부탁드립니다.
From Nature 앨범은 드러머인 리더인 제가 작곡한 곡들과 피아니스트 강인이 편곡한 곡들로 부산의 자연과 창조되어진 자연의 경의를 담아냈으며 트럼펫터 곽서원, 색소포니스트 손태호, 트럼보니스트 신규상과 보컬 최소진이 함께 피처링으로 참여하여 이전 앨범들보다 한층 더 진한 재즈를 들려드립니다.
Okay. So it sounds like there's a lot more people involved with this album. And the album From Nature is composed by the drummer and leader, of course, with me today, Hong Young-ho. And it was arranged by pianist Kang Hae-in. And basically the album captures the wonders of Busan's nature and nature in general. And it also features trumpeter Kwak So-won, saxophonist Son Tae-ho, and trombonist Shim Kyu-sung. And of course, we've got a vocalist, Choi So-jin, as well. And they all feature together to present a deeper kind of jazz than their previous albums. Sounds really exciting. And of course, I noticed that your social media ID is Joyful Drummer. Why is that? 그 SNS ID가 Joyful Drummer이던데요. 그 계기가 있나요?
사람들한테 기쁨을 주는 그런 드러머가 연주자가 되고 싶었습니다. 그래서 저의 음악과 연주로 사람들을 조이풀하게 하고 싶었어요. 네.
So basically, Hong Young-ho wants to be a drummer that can give people joy. And personally, when I watch any band, I always watch the drummers, and the drummers usually give me joy too. So he wanted to give people joy with his music and his performance. Thus, he has the ID Joyful Drummer. Makes a lot of sense. So I think, playing the drums is something that gives me joy too. So actually, what is the first song that you brought for us today? I heard it is from your third album, From Nature. 그 첫 번째로 들을 곡은 무엇인가요?
이번에 발매된 3집 앨범의 타이틀곡이자 첫 번째 트랙인 5-6도 5-6 아일랜드라는 곡을 들려드리고 싶습니다. 5-6도는 부산을 대표하는 자연 경관 중의 하나이자 부산 앞바다를 지키고 있는 6개의 작은 섬인데요. 조수 간만의 차 또는 보는 사람의 위치에 따라 5개 혹은 6개로 보이는 5-6도의 모습을 5박과 6박의 리듬으로 표현하였으며 피아니스트 강예인의 모던한 재즈 편곡이 돋보이는 곡입니다.
I see. So our first song that we're going to listen to today is called 5-6 Island, and in Korean that's 오륙도, and that is the title track and the first track of their third album. So 오륙도 is actually, if you have ever been to Busan, it's kind of one of those places that a lot of people like to go see. It's a beautiful little island area. There's 5 or 6 islands depending on when you see it. So it depends on the tide. When the tide is low, you can see 6 islands. When it's higher, you can see 5. And the really cool thing they did with this song is they tried to express this idea with the rhythm having 5 or 6 beats. Jazz. That's very okay. I'm used to 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a real drummer here. They can switch between beats like that. I find that difficult. But basically, this is a modern jazz arrangement, and this was also arranged by pianist Kang Hae-in. So let's take a listen to 오륙도 by Hong Young-ho Trio. right, welcome back. So we just heard 오리옥도 by Hong Young-ho Trio, and I love that song. That reminds me of where I live. I live very close to 오리옥도, and I get to see it very often. So if you have not had the chance, let that music motivate you to go check out 오리옥도 in Busan. So I have another question I wanted to ask. For you, when did you think that you should become a drummer? 언제 드러머가 되어야겠다고 생각하셨나요?
제가 원래 드럼을 치기 시작한 시기는 하이스쿨.
아, 하이스쿨.
네. 그때 처음 드럼을 만났어요. I met drum.
저도요. 저도요. 고등학생 때.
네, 맞아요.
저도요.
근데 이제 진짜 드러머가 되어야 되겠다고 생각한 시기는 이제 20살 정도. 그때 이제 드러머가 되고 싶다는 생각보다는 I like Stevie Wonder.
Me too.
네. Favorite musician.
Stevie Wonder.
네,
yes, genius.
네.
Stevie Wonder's genius.
맞아요. 그리고 뭐 아바 혹은 마이클 잭슨 앤 비틀즈 같은 이제 그런 음악을 하고 싶었어요.
그 스티비 원더하고 아바하고 마이클 잭슨하고 비틀즈 다 같이 좀 팝 장르 있죠.
맞아요.
그래서 재즈로 어떻게 바꿨어요?
제가 공부를 할 때는 모든 장르를 다 하고 싶었어요.
그래서요.
다 공부를 하고 싶었는데
네. 사실
이제 제가 서울에서 활동을 할 때는 팝 앤 락을 연주했습니다. 인디 뮤직.
그래서요.
네.
네,
하지만
알겠습니다.
공부는 재즈도 하고 다 했었는데
네.
부산에 내려와서 부산에서 활동할 때는 재즈 음악을 다시 이제 만들어서 이제 연주를 하기 시작했어요.
Okay, so there's a lot to explain there. So because I got so excited about musical influences, so I wanted to ask a little more. So for Hong Young-ho, he wanted to be a drummer since he was around his 20s, and we were talking about high school. We both kind of started playing drums in high school. And actually, instead of really thinking of becoming a drummer, he wanted to be a musician at first who can make people happy and who can make them feel something with music. And a lot of his influence in that case was Stevie Wonder and ABBA and Michael Jackson and the Beatles. And that made me curious because, those are mostly pop and or pop rock artists. And so why did you want to become a jazz musician? And actually, when he first started playing drums in Seoul, he was doing a lot of like indie rock to start with as a drummer, but then he was always interested in other genres also, and over time developed into a jazz drummer. And when he came down to Busan, he started full time as a jazz drummer, right? So that's where he's at now. So that makes me curious because both of us like to play the drums. Who is the drummer that you respect the most? 가장 존경하는 드러머는 누구인가요?
하비 메이슨이라는 미국의 퓨전 재즈 그룹 포플레이라는 재즈 퓨전 재즈 그룹의 드러머예요. 가장 대중적인 재즈 음악의 드러머이긴 한데 정말 유명한 프로듀서이기도 합니다. 그래서 이분의 드럼은 굉장히 뮤지컬한 드럼, 화려하진 않지만
네.
음악을 살릴 수 있는 그런 드럼이라고 생각을 합니다.
So Hong Young-ho was really influenced by Harvey Mason, who's not only a drummer, but a producer. And he was in a fusion jazz group, Foreplay. And he's kind of very representative of the jazz scene, jazz fusion also, right, in the United States. And as Young-ho was saying, that he's one of the most musical performers as a drummer in all kinds of genres, but he's not flashy. Right? He's very musical in his style, but he's not, not Keith Moon, not very like wild and not all over the place. Right? So very cool. And actually, I'm not familiar with Harvey Mason. So thank you. I'm going to check out Harvey Mason after this. So can you introduce any upcoming concerts or gigs that you have here in Busan? 다가올 공연에 대해 알려주세요.
6월 29일, 30일에 이제 푸드 필름 페스타와 이제 부산 원먼스 페스티벌이 콜라보하는 프롬나드 콘서트에 출연을 합니다. 그래서 29일에는 강인 퀸텟이라는 재즈 팀의 드러머로 세션 드러머, 30일에는 홍용우 섹스텟으로 연주를 하게 되었습니다. 그래서 푸드 필름 페스타와 프롬나드 콘서트의 콜라보로 오감이 만족하는 축제고요. 부산 소재 공연장에서 7월 한 달 동안 매일 릴레이로 총 30여 회 이상의 살롱 음악회를 진행하는 형태로 개최되며 클래식과 재즈, 국악, 인디 밴드 등 다양한 장르의 음악을 각 공연장의 특색에 맞춘 기획 공연이 펼쳐지는 부산 원먼스 페스티벌 우리 동네 문화살롱 페스타 3rd에도 출연할 예정이니 많은 관심 부탁드립니다.
There's a lot of information there, so you sound very busy. So Hong Young-ho will appear at the Promenade concert, which is a collaboration between the Food Film Festa and the Busan 1 Month Festival, and that's taking place on June 29th and June 30th. And he's going to feature in Kang Hae-in's quintet as the drummer, as a session drummer on June 29th, and on the sextet, in the sextet on June 30th. And the idea of this festival is to satisfy all 5 of your senses. So it's a complete experience. There, in addition to these 2 concerts, there's going to be more than 30 salon concerts that will be held every day during the month of July at a variety of small concert halls in Busan. And upcoming, they have also the Busan 1 Month Festival. And that's Our Town Culture Salon Festa, the 3rd edition. And the idea of this one is to have a variety of genres of music. So it's going to be classical music, it'll be jazz, Korean traditional music, also even indie bands. So it's a whole mix. It's going to be a lot of fun. And every show will depend on where they play, what the different feeling is. So they hope that you definitely check it out, and it'll be a whole lot of fun. So I highly recommend you check out all of these shows. And actually, if people want to contact you, can you introduce us to your social media ID? SNS ID를 다시 알려주세요.
저희 아이디는 Joyful Drummer이고요.
네.
팀 아이디는 홍영호 트리오입니다.
Cool. So if you want to reach out and ask some questions about where the trio is going to perform, you can contact the trio directly. Or if you just want to ask some like jazz drum questions or any kind of drum questions, you can reach out to @joyfuldrummer and contact Hong Young-ho directly. And again, his band account is @HongYoungHo_trio. And basically, he's using this personal account to communicate more privately with people, and the band account is a little bit more official. So if you have maybe some questions about what dates, contact that one. So we're going to listen to one more song that you brought in today. 두 번째로 들을 곡은 무엇인가요?
홍영호 트리오의 세컨드 앨범, 거기에 들어있는 자기소개서라는 곡을 들려드리고 싶습니다. 제가 좋아하는 이제 커피 앤 일상을 담은 두 번째 앨범의 마지막 곡인데요. 자기소개서를 의인화하여 취업 준비생들의 애환을 이스라엘스럽게 표현한 곡입니다.
Okay, so what we're going to listen to next is called 자기소개서, and this is a track from the second album by the Hong Young-ho Trio, and it's the last song on the second album. It contains some of Hong Young-ho's favorite things, such as coffee and daily life, and it's a humorous expression of the sorrows of job seekers, which we all have felt, and it personifies the self-introduction that refers to in the title. And it has been a great pleasure to have you in the studio today, Hong Young-ho. Thank you so much for coming in, and of course telling us about your band, the Hong Young-ho Trio. So here's our one more song for today, 자기소개서 by Hong Young-ho Trio. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
널 처음 봤을 때 무지성이 가질 않았어. 매일 같은 모습에 같은 질문만 반복하는 네가 난 너무 싫었어. 하지만 난 항상 너와 함께 할 수밖에 없었어. 어쩔 수 없이 내가 어딜 가든지 잠시 카페를 들릴 때도 항상 내 곁에 있었지. 계속 있으면 머리가 이상해질 것 같아 정신이 혼미해지고 있어 멘탈이 붕괴될 것만 같아 넌 도대체 뭐니 왜 날 이렇게 힘들게 해 진심 보고 싶지 않은데 취직할 때까지 이 짓을 할 수밖에 없어 이젠 제법 글을 잘 써 이참에 책이 나서 볼까 나를 소개합니다 무슨 일이든 잘할 수 있어요
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever, and you just heard 자기 속에서 by the Hong Young-ho Trio. Thanks again to Hong Young-ho for coming in and doing an interview with us, and check him out. Check out his trio playing this weekend. Now it is time for our perfect playlist. We do this every Monday through Friday, and our theme this week has been sunrise, something I hope to enjoy at least one more time, perhaps tomorrow morning. And our song for today is Morning Has Broken by Cat Stevens. It's a serene, contemplative hymn that celebrates the beauty of a new day. Cat Stevens has some tender vocals and delicate piano accompaniment, and it captures the peacefulness of when the dawn breaks. And the lyrics also praise the natural world as it awakens. It's got a heartfelt melody and spiritual undertones, and this song has become a beloved anthem for embracing the fresh start each morning brings. So for today's perfect playlist, enjoy Morning Has Broken by Cat Stevens. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard Morning Has Broken by Cat Stevens. And that's going to do it for our perfect playlist today. And thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate all the comments in the chat. I'm seeing multiple things going on there. I have a hard time keeping up, but I appreciate all the feedback and the comments and the messages. And Ben, I just saw Ben's message there answering today's question. Which one would you choose if you must choose one? Rainy and humid weather for a year or hot and dry weather for a year? And Ben's checking in with, I choose almost everything but hot, humid, and rainy. Yes, that is the worst combination for me as well. Okay, rainy and humid is one thing, but then when you add the heat to it, that's a daytime killer for me. So thank you so much for all your messages. And of course, we're going to have to wrap up the show here. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday afternoon for the 2 p.m. Reboot. Of course, you can catch us this weekend. We have the 2 p.m. Reboot highlight show on Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. And, of course, we'll be back on Monday at 2:05 p.m. So I hope you have a great weekend. We're going to finish our show today with one more last song by the Grateful Dead. Suddenly a Grateful Dead song popping up. This is Uncle John's Band. And please stick around, of course, for Your Busan.